Okay, does anyone have any questions about the resolutions, Captain, on the consent agenda?
Wait.
Just wondering if
No.
okay. So I will make a motion to approve the solid waste consent agenda.
I will second that. Roll call, Amy?
Megan?
Yes.
Kathleen?
Yes.
Okay,
What else do you have, Bill?
Bill?
All right, couple things, nothing under the pending discussion items. One of the things I wanted to talk to the commissioners about is outside county travel. Right now, if we use a county vehicle, we are permitted to go to any county that is bordering our county. One of the issues that sometimes we may be faced is sometimes we have a truck go down, depending upon what is the nature of the truck repair, we will approve having the part or piece overnighted. Sometimes it's actually faster for us if it's like in Newark, Ohio, or Columbus to drive down and get it because we could have it that day, have the truck back in service sooner. So I just wanted to talk to the board. I would like to, work with HR to come up with something to present to the board that in a situation like that, if we could just simply send like an email to the board, hey, this is the situation, truck XYZ is down, we have to go to Newark to get the part, we'll get it back up and running, 24 hours faster than what we would overnighting it or things like that. That's pretty much what we're looking for. That's just why I brought that up, because right now, in the policy to drive to the counties that were right next to us is, we have some places in Talmadge that we go for parts. Or right now, we have a truck repair facility that's in Talmadge. Literally, we drive maybe 500 feet on Mogador Road, we use their back entrance and we're there, but they're physically in Talmadge. Before we had that, I would have had to, that resolution, I would have had to fill out a travel request form every time I went across the street, essentially. So this is just like the next step process, because, we don't, sometimes time of it is of the essence to get trucks back up on the road.
So what are you asking us?
I just want to know your feelings on that, before I start putting, something in writing. I have talked to Janet a little bit about it. It's just something that I think kind of brings us a little bit better, because it's not like we would use it all the time. If there's an emergency, that would be what it would kind of fall under, an emergency repair where we have to go get the part to get the truck back up on the road due to operational needs.
Okay. I think it sounds okay. Put something in
Yeah.
writing and then
Yeah.
we'll go from there.
Okay,
Yeah,
yeah,
so
I'll work
that's
with Janet on it.
bringing it. Okay.
Okay.
Receipt?
Yeah, the designation process, now that we have our own solid waste plan, we're gonna be beginning the designation process. That's gonna be about a 6 to 7 month process from start to finish, because there's gonna be a series of resolutions we're gonna have to pass. The first one is intent to designate. I've got that in draft form. As I draft them, I'm actually sending them up to the prosecutor's office for their review. Carroll, Columbiana, and Harrison County went through this about 10 years ago, so I kind of am using what they did. They've kind of already blazed the trail, but basically the designation process is just simply that we sign an agreement with either a transfer station or landfill that accepts our solid waste, and in return, we have access to records, so that way if we need to check on a hauler or something to find out who's hauling where and how much. It's sort of like a checks and balance system for us, but it is a rather long process, so it's going to carry, even if we started this year, it's going to carry into next year. because of the time in between the resolutions and the hearings. So I will give you kind of a Cliff Notes version, what's entailed, and then I'll work with Amy to start setting up the public hearings.
And that's for our solid waste plan,
Right.
the actual plan
Right,
that
yeah,
gets ratified.
yeah,
What's
yeah.
ratified.
Right, we had those before the last time, so we
Yeah.
need to put them back in. And
Okay.
it's mainly for Alex if I say, hey, you know, someone's, because we track the tonnage every month, and if
Yeah.
someone shows a sharp decline, there's usually a question why. Did they not, you know, did they stop servicing a certain area or something? It's just checks and balance for us. Item D, the proposed new rate structure. We said we would come back this week and discuss that.
Okay. And I don't know, Commissioner Clyde, have you received any calls? There was an email that had went out from any political subdivisions in our district concerning the plan?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, and Bill, I think the concern here is, not that this is not a good plan. I think that I personally am not ready to move forward with this today. I would like for you to go to the township meeting and maybe get a team together to present there. I think you're gonna be asked to do that, to explain the plan and then answer. There's a lot of unanswered questions and stuff. And even though I know it's ultimately our decision, these folks have been investors in our solid waste district from fruition. The biggest complaint that I get is that, you know, they were led to believe that they were required to have a plan, and they were required to pay for it. They were invested in it. They had the ability to negotiate, and this totally removes everything. And they have a lot of questions, and just ironically, next Saturday happens to be one of those quarterly meetings, and it's my understanding that they're gonna ask that you, and maybe we figure out who else we'd like to present with Bill, to present the plan, and allow them to ask questions, because, you know, it went from, you know, they had negotiating power to negotiate the agreements and stuff to, you know, a township finding out that in reality, they don't have to deal with it at all. It really comes back to us. To now, they feel like, okay, the county is taking it all back in, and they have no say for their community to be taxed on. And so they would like to try to understand the plan and have the ability to ask questions. And I know some people may say, well, this procedure allows for public comments, or not, I'm sorry, public hearings. But I think in a lot of people's minds, if we're to the public hearing comments, a lot of times there's the misconception that the decision's already been made, we're just going through the formalities of the process. So that's my opinion. I don't know if Commissioner Clyde has any further comments on that.
So for today, we are not ready to move forward.
Right.
I think that discussions will continue.
Excuse me.
Okay,
Sounds like.
well, that's fine.
Yeah.
That's fine.
And note that I don't think overall the plan is not a good plan, and I think it'll help with some of, you know, maybe our decisions that weren't necessarily the best decisions, and is why we're here. But I think the communities want to understand it better, and they have some questions and concerns.
Right,
Okay.
no, I get that.
Okay.
The last thing is, what do we want to do about Brimfield? Because part of this plan was, you know, we have Brimfield coming up, and the contract expires December 31st. And they have made two demands, and one is take it off property taxes, which we said we could, but it would be an additional fee, because if you remember, we
Yeah,
said
yeah.
it would be a savings.
Mhm.
So that would be a little bit different, but the stumbling block is subscription versus mandatory. And
Well, I think we've already made it clear to them that that subscription is not optional, at least for us to provide. And it didn't appear that they got any other subscription providers that
no,
were interested at this point. So I think it's back to negotiating the price, but then again, that's sort of what this plan sort of removes is, we're all gonna be on a level playing
Right.
field, which I think we got there because we probably shouldn't have been doing, long-term contracts, 5
Right.
years.
Yeah.
In all fairness.
Yeah, no,
I mean,
I-
hindsight's 20/20.
yeah.
But,
Back when we were doing financial contracts, you could
Mhm.
pretty much predict out with some certainty, this is gonna be the cost, this will happen. But with the collapse of the foreign market, the whole market, the whole
Yeah.
recycling market has gone haywire. And so with this plan, it's sort of like the water and sewer fees, everybody was gonna be paying the same. So that way, if there was a bump in the cost, it would be spread out. It's the old, economy of scale type thing. And I think for this, it takes away, why is this contract at this rate and we're here? It keeps everybody on an even playing field. And I think overall, it's just better for the entire county. Because it does make it fair across the county. It's not like, right now we have contracts out there that were good when we negotiate them now. They're not so good because our costs have changed dramatically.
and Bill, I just want to clarify, because I think I was verbally told this, but I didn't see it in here. Another concern that people had is that the county would monopolize the services for recycling.
Right.
And I believe I understood it that they could still opt out. They could, just like, I think, what is it, Manaway Village?
Right.
And they're still part of our plan and they can help ratify our plan,
Right.
but they are gonna reserve the right to still, if they decide they wanna go elsewhere for these services, that
Right.
they can. And I think that's an important thing to bring up.
Right.
Because I could have swore I saw it in here.
I think I did put it in there because it's part of the plan and we kept that in there.
I know, but I could not find it, I swear.
Oh, that's okay, I'll go back and look.
Yeah, because I looked there, I said, either someone verbally
Right.
told me, because I think I
Yeah,
asked the question.
the last thing that we want to do is we don't want to be the monopoly where we say it's us or nobody. That's sort of borders on the line of flow control, which we're not really permitted to do for recyclables.
I mean, obviously, we would hope that they would stay with us, but if not,
Yeah.
they want to know that.
The goal of this plan is hopefully through realizing the economy of scale, we can offer better pricing to encourage them to stay with our services. And hopefully, that would work, because then this way, everybody's on the same rate at the same time.
But they also want to know that if a group of them decide that they would like to go together, or they want to seek out, maybe from Kemble, have a
Right.
bid from Kemble, just so that it's still competitive and
sure.
we're not monopolizing.
Right, and they have that right.
Okay,
Yeah.
those are things that I didn't see in here,
Yeah.
and I think are very concerning
Yeah.
for them.
Right.
And so I think those are just good things that, when you present, and we need to figure out.
Sure.
Have a team.
Sure, no, that's fine. I guess my question is, since next Saturday is the Township Association dinner, have they finalized the agenda or?
That, I don't know. I just know, I think we received a letter from Brimfield. And I was at an event last night and ran into Nelson Township, and they said, please, we would like for him to come and present so we can ask questions
Right.
and clear up a lot of this. They didn't like the fact that they felt like it was being shoved through,
Right.
and you know how it is.
Yeah.
It all has to do with how you're presenting and, being very transparent
Sure,
with it.
sure, no, I agree.
So, okay.
All right.
Is there anything else? Bill?
That's it.
Okay. If not, I will make a motion to adjourn.
Okay, second. Roll call, Amy?
Yes.
Kathleen?
Yes. Thanks, Bill.
Thanks,
You're
Bill.
welcome. Have a good day. Sure.
Yeah.
Stay dry.
And then we'll try to, let us know, we'll try to come up with a team of someone
Yeah,
that can help.
do me, if you would,
field
do me a
question.
favor, just call me later this afternoon.
I will.
And
I
then
will.
we'll figure out.
Maybe we can go over some of the concerns that I had.
Yeah.
And then,
Yeah, and
or not necessarily me, but the people that call me.
yeah,
So we can try to address them.
Yeah, I have a speaking engagement today at 12:30, so, anytime after that would be wonderful.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Have a good day,
All
everyone.
right, see ya.
Thanks.
Laura, do you know if Jean's coming, or is it just you?
I think it's just me.
Okay,
Okay.
great.
Come on up.
We reconvene.
Oh, yeah.
I thought that we,
Yeah, you recess and then you reconvene.
so we will reconvene with the commissioners meeting.
Hi, Miss Laura.
So, one item. This is a proposed change to the facility planning area boundary for
Mhm.
Summit County Department of Sanitary Sewer Services in the city of Hudson. They've requested to alter their facility planning area to include a parcel that is a church that they would like to serve. And the closest manhole that we have in that area is to the north and it's through undeveloped area, so it would require them to install a pump station. So the extension of the Summit County facility planning area into this area to serve that church makes more sense for them as well. So the second part of that attachment is the submittal from Summit County, and if you go and you can search the third map,
Okay.
it shows the area that they're proposing to change, and that's in that dark orange color.
We are in black
Ours
and white here.
Ours and,
Oh, yours
it's
is in black and
dark.
white? It's the dark one, it's
Okay.
the
Dark
dark
one.
shaded one. So that's the
Okay.
area that they're gonna move to expand. So this area to the east is the Streetsboro Hudson facility planning area, which they're currently in. And they're currently listed as areas that will be served by publicly owned treatment works or by home sewage and semi-public disposal systems in our service areas. So Summit County will absorb that into theirs, and in the future, they could also absorb some of these other lots that are in there as well.
Okay.
So we were just hoping to move forward with that with the recommendation so Jean can sign off on the proposal.
Yeah, and I think he had talked to us where, when you guys were in before, that this was gonna be coming and that he was, you guys were on board.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The Gloria Dye Lutheran Church.
Okay.
And then those other parcels around it could also be served in the future.
Okay. All
Yeah,
right.
I read through and didn't have any problems, and
Okay.
the journal entry is included in our.
It is,
Have
to take
it.
action today,
Yeah.
so. Okay.
So thanks for
Then
that.
we'll get it approved today.
Explanation.
All right, thanks, Laura.
Have a good day.
You too. So let's recess until 10:30 for job and family services.
Okay. Man, we're just whipping right through it.